bright and early good morning, everybody, from Ajaccio, Corsica. And we don't really have any plans today, so you're going to come discover what we discover as we discover it. So join us today, traveling with the doobies. It's a quiet early morning in Seabourn Square as the Encore steams into the port of Ajaccio. A perfect time to catch up on the overnight sports scores and map out what we'll want to see today during our second visit to this unique French port. Seabourn Square makes a very, very good vanilla latte, and I'm starting to feel the caffeine, so... Alright, so this morning, I'm going to start off with a little jog around Ajaccio. As we run along the shoreline of Ajaccio, seems like a good time to talk about the history of Corsica and, of course, its most famous son. The first people to inhabit this island between the Italian mainland and the island of Sardinia likely traveled to Corsica in around 9000 BC. An earlier remains of an inhabitant named the Lady of Bonifacio dates to 6570 BC during the Neolithic era. By the 3rd millennium BC, a Bronze Age society similar to the Nuragic peoples of Sardinia left large stone structures. These tori, or towers, and the discovery of Mycenaean-style weapons were marks of this early civilization. Corsica then began several millennia of settlement of European tribal peoples. The Corsi, Liguri, and ultimately the Phoenicians and Carthaginians settled in for 600 years or so. Greeks landed on the east coast in the 6th century BC, and shortly after, the Etruscans formed an alliance with the Phoenicians and pushed the Greeks off the island. In the 3rd century BC, Rome is coming to power, and they pushed the Carthaginians off the island and really off the map altogether. And they hold the island until 455 AD. After Rome fell, this jewel of the Mediterranean was Byzantine for a while, attacked by Moors, feuded over by Italian lords, and became a major point of dispute between the Genoese and the Pisans. After a decisive naval battle in 1284, Genoa takes control of Corsica until 1755. So, why is it French? As Genoa lost its naval influence in the Med, the small island became an independent republic. Ah, freedom! Well, that lasted all of 26 years, when the French felt the British influence in the region had to be countered following the conquest of Gibraltar. This is our 2-mile mark. Nice little pace. I think it's perfect time to turn around. What do you think? In a campaign that lasted less than a year, the Corsican resistance was crushed. Its leader fled to Britain, and Corsica became France. It's a good thing Europeans have good language skills. And it just so happens that the year France moved on Corsica was the year of Napoleon Bonaparte's birth, 1769. At 9 years old, Napoleon went to the French mainland and at 15 entered the École Militaire, where he was forced to complete the 2-year program in 1 year due to the death of his father, which dried up his funding. The now commissioned second lieutenant quickly rose to their ranks during the French Revolution, creating a plan to capture the city of Toulon in 1793. In 1797, he led the attacks on the Austrian Empire in northern Italy, and his military and political popularity grew enormously. After campaigns ranging as far as Egypt, in 1799 he returned to Paris and led a coup that led to his ascension as prime consul. The appointment of emperor would follow in 1804. The Citadel in Corsica, which now mainly protects the beautiful beaches, was originally built in 1492 and served as barracks for 800 French soldiers and was even utilized by Italian fascists during World War II. In 2020, it was passed from the military to the town of Ajaccio and is an interesting place to wander along the old port, and you can find interesting art installations all around this site. From the walls of this old fort, I think I can see our beach day spot. As we can see from all the buildup of condominiums facing the sea along our run, the primary industry here in Corsica is tourism. But if you have time to venture to the interior of the island, you'll find stunning steep mountains covered in flowering trees. And as we found on our last trip here, some of the most unique and flavorful honeys made by local beekeepers. She is, the Encore, in all her glory. The sailing school out here. don't know. So time to get back to the Encore, clean up a bit, and grab Donna Doobie to get out and see more of this town. First stop is the local market. Unfortunately, it's late November, so there's quite a few less vendors than we've seen before, but it's still a great chance to try the local olives and sausage. As we wander through the streets of Ajaccio, everyone seems to be decorating for Christmas. And I'd say about half the shops are open, but we still find a little of that Corsican honey as we explore the main shopping streets. We do have a target though, I know what I said. We are going to stop into the Palais Fesch. According to guides, this could be the second most important art museum in France. And with a healthy degree of skepticism, we lay down our 10 euros and check out the collections. First stop, the Bonaparte collections honoring France's age of empire. It's a fitting first collection to take in, as the founder of what at one point was 17,000 works of art, Cardinal Joseph Fesch, was Napoleon's uncle, and we wander these galleries with the perspective now of the ego which drove Napoleon in his conquests under the tricolor. And much has been written about Napoleon, his expansionist ideal and megalomania, but the short-lived empire he created fundamentally changed the political landscape around the globe. U.S. expansion, power vacuums in South America leading to revolutions, the transformation of Central Europe, and the liberation of Italy all traced actions of his empire. As do the continued proliferation of slavery in the French colonies, the development of education systems, and the codification of property laws, all trace to this small town on a rugged island. As we peer into the emperor's face, we see, is that a resemblance? Oh man, you gotta really watch these French guys. The Fesch collection, beyond the collection of Corsica's first family, also includes an impressive number of paintings from the Italian schools. Works from Botticelli, Titian, Bellini all grace the walls of the upper galleries. While the lighting in this space leaves a lot to be desired, it is quite stirring to be seeing up close these masterpieces in a very quiet and very private setting. On the basement level, there's an expedition of more modern Corsican artists, bringing the sights of this idyllic island to life in small paintings. As we leave the Fesch, we move up another block and find the Église en Roche, a beautiful neoclassical church commissioned in 1895 and completed in 1923, and what I can tell may not have anything to do with Napoleon. You will realize as you walk around Ajaccio that it is the city of Napoleon. So you'll find Napoleon's birthplace, Napoleon's house, the church where Napoleon was baptized. Just about everything to do with the former emperor. Back on board the Encore, we head up to lunch at the patio, but I also find a small corner of the Colonnade buffet that is dedicated to serving local specialties from the countries and ports we are visiting. Today, some very nice cheeses and cured meats from Corsica to snack on as we wait for our entrees. All right, ready for our swimming adventure in the Mediterranean. It's a remarkably beautiful day, so we decide to head back out past the Citadel to a small beach along the fortification walls and take a cool dip in the Mediterranean. The water is, let's call it, refreshing at 65 degrees. Not bad considering last time we traveled with MedFit Culture the water was 29. It was actually pretty wonderful, that is, until I swam into a jellyfish of some sort. But then again, maybe it's fitting to have a cat of nine tails experience under an old castle wall. The stinging only lasted an hour or so, and this mid-70 degree day was just perfect for enjoying that pool deck on 5 aft. Free dinner drinks are in the club tonight, and dinner in the restaurant starts with some fresh local oysters, followed by duck and the souffle of the day, which is Poor William with a milk chocolate cream sauce. Always served in the restaurant with just a bit of flair.
Alright, here we have our Poor William souffle. Let's make a small hole here. Now it's coming the sauce. Bittersweet chocolate sauce.
Ooh.
Here we go. Delicious. Look at it.
Look at that.
Tonight we're taking in a show in the Grand Salon on Deck 6, and first up will be Ross Roberts, our cruise director, as he always does, to welcome us all to the evening. And tonight we're being entertained by violinist Klementina Venci, who treated us to a combination of both pop and classical music. A wonderful night! Let's see what tomorrow has in store as we reach Sardinia. Good night, everybody.